Play that funky music, white boy. No, do that.
What's the roasted soda stream? The answer is yes.
And we are going live. Let's check. We're live on the tubes.
Carbonated vodka?
We're live on the Rumbles. We are live on the Rumbles.
We're live on YouTube. I'm not going to be nice.
We are live on the D-Lives.
Oh, D-Live?
D-Live again? Fucking hell.
Do you still have to install the CPU miner if you go on D-Live? Hello to anybody watching us on D-Live.
I don't think we're live on Telegram. Telegram hasn't gone live yet, I don't think.
Oh, it's alright. I mean, look, if you've got access to the Telegram, you've got access to Rumble, which is where you should be watching Fortean Words. Or listening to Fortean Words, because we got a radio show for you tonight.
Yeah.
You know, which is a change from the usual.
Right, so we should be live on the. Oh yeah, we're streaming to. I've just turned the Telegram on as well. So if you can go to Telegram, D Live, YouTube, or Rumble to watch us tonight. We're all over the
Hemming,
place.
when will you be putting these episodes onto cassette tape and then having a round robin mailing list?
VHS
Next week.
VHS.
VHS can be what we're going to record to VHS as well. Let's go.
We'll go VHS as well.
And Betamax as well.
Yeah, but I don't have a VHS player in my car, but I've got a tape deck.
Yes.
Right, so we are live. It's the Christmas Mega Scary Spooktackular Winterval edition.
Next week we're
the winter holiday. Happy winter holiday, everyone.
Yeah. Happy winter.
It's Merry Christmas.
Happy Winterval. Happy Winterval.
Oh, Dom, why is your voice fucking
Don't
say the C word.
Don't say fuck or bugger, by the way.
Yeah, don't say fuck or bugger.
Don't say this. Don't say the C word.
Yeah.
It's the winter holiday.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr.
Otherwise
Happy
we'll get more
holidays,
complaints.
Americans.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Christmas is like the.
I'm
minor
gonna have
for
a
them,
winter.
though, isn't it? They're not that bothered about it. It's all about.
There's another holiday. You know.
It's all about the men in belt. It's all about the men with belt buckles and their hats landing.
Something to do with 9 candles. I think. Was it 9 candles?
7.
It's
4
7.
candles.
It's a fire handle. It's
Not-
a fire
not in
hazard
Poland,
and it needs to be extinguished.
Not in Poland.
No.
Oh yeah. Mm.
No, they
for
don't
4.
like fires over in Poland, not anymore. Put that fire out.
Yes.
Mm.
So yeah, we got a whole bunch of stories, and I thought, what wasn't there something I thought which was going to be interesting to say? Well, I have got some things that are interesting for later to say.
I've got a bit of a. We'll do a bit of a preamble this year. So Nightmare Before Christmas: The History of Festive Ghost Stories. Halloween isn't the only time of year when the spirits of the departed come out to play. At Christmas time, the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead is as thin as a Christmas paper hat. See what she did there? Or is it she or he?
Made it Christmassy.
Yeah. Here I will unwrap, see what they did there, and explore a forgotten Christmas tradition before sitting back in my fireside wingback chair and scaring you witless with 6 real accounts of Crimbo ghosts. Do we like Crimbo or not Crimbo?
Proper
Cringe
Crimbo.
bow, mate. It's cringe bow. Yeah.
Christmas storytelling tradition. For centuries in Britain, there was a tradition, now largely forgotten, of whiling away the long Christmas nights by huddling around the hearth and telling ghost stories. Many ancient pagan festivals of winter. This is what we used to do in the before times. Before telly.
Did we do this?
Before the
I don't
internet.
remember doing this.
Well, before telly, Fraser.
Okay, before telly.
Many ancient pagan.
I never saw those dark days.
Yeah, I when I was a kid, black and white telly was still about. So. Many ancient pagan.
When I was a kid, I had a black and white television.
Yeah. See,
still
even
had
Hobbit's
outside
an old
toilets as
fag
well.
like me. Many ancient pagan festivals of winter, such as Yule, featured death and the supernatural, and these too were times of the year where families and communities would come together and tell stories. This endured and evolved over the centuries, and in the 17th century, Robert Burton listed merry tales of witches, fairies, and goblins not boglins, goblins, as popular Christmas pastime. Have you got a Christmas tale about a boglin this year, Hobbit?
Yes,
love boglins.
he's not going to get blackout drunk. And funny enough, it's one of those things like you know how ghosts repeat the same thing over and over again. Like there's ghosts which cry for their baby, and they ask you to help find it, and then you get
double down.
And then you get lost trying to find this baby of like a ghost mother. And then you end up dying as well. Yeah, the Christmas Boglin story is when he's like, I'm not going to get blackout drunk on stream anymore, and he says it every year around about the build up to Christmas.
Yeah,
and then he gets blackout drunk on stream again. It's amazing.
Is that because his quote unquote fans? Actually send him drink, do they, to make him drink at Christmas?
No, it's because every Christmas he gets depressed and blackout drunk.
But the yarns weren't always jolly, and the tradition of wizened old frightening children with scary stories is an ancient and widespread one. The Barabbas of Elizabethan playwright Christopher Marlowe speaks of old women telling winter tales of spirits and ghosts that glide by night. But it was Charles Dickens with his famous 1843 ghost story, A Christmas Carol, as well as M.R. James, who really helped to cement the popular association between the supernatural and Christmas. Many Victorians believed in haunted houses and the presence of spirits, and Jerome K. Jerome in 1891 said it was inevitable that a group sitting by a fireside on Christmas Eve would regale one another with authentic anecdotes of spectres. Dickens himself is reputed to appear in phantom form every year outside the Corn Exchange in Rochester, seen there at midnight on Christmas Eve, setting the hands of his watch. So here are 6 real accounts of reputed Christmas hauntings. The Creepy Crest at Pancot Castle. The Grand Pancot Castle in Lothian. Pancot, isn't that... Oh, that's the name of the palace in Indiana Jones, isn't it? Pancot Castle. In that Pancot?
What, in the Templar Dome?
Yeah.
I didn't know it had a name. I was just like, oh yeah, there's the scary place with like the collapsing ceiling and the insects. Ugh.
Yeah. Scotland is an impressive pile dating from the 16th century. One famous story of the castle is beggar Alexander Hamilton, who one night in the 17th century rapped on the door of the great house seeking food and shelter. Told to clear off, he cursed the family, and a few days later the lady of the house and her daughter died of a mysterious illness. Hamilton was tried as a witch, brutally tortured and executed in Edinburgh. His ghost is said to haunt the old laird's mansion. Isn't this supposed to be about Christmas ghosts? Oh yes, sorry.
Men can't be witches.
Yeah.
They're not witches, are they?
That's a warlock,
they were warlocks. Yeah, it's a
witches
warlock.
and warlocks.
Maybe he identifies as a witch.
Warlocks.
At Pencott on a cold, dark Christmas night in 1923.
What do you call a trans?
What do you call a trans what?
I was just wondering, why is your warlock a word?
Your Discord, your connection works really well until you start speaking, then it completely fucks up. Don't say fuck or bugger.
Yeah. Family and friends were gathered in the music room singing carols. A carved wooden family crest was witnessed by everyone. It must be something to do with my bandwidth, is it?
No, it's a him problem. Otherwise, we'd be having the same issue, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Was witnessed by everyone to creakily, slowly lean forward away from the wall, pause, and then return back to its former position.
Mm-hmm.
Good job it stayed on the wall, or the family would have been crestfallen. Ahem.
Oh.
This one. No. Wow.
Spooked servants at Sandringham House. The Royals' famous Norfolk bolt hole was once described as the most comfortable house in England, but at Christmas time every year, ghosts are supposed to lurk about the corridors of the vast Victorian residence. This is said to begin at Christmas Eve and last for a few weeks, and in the 20th century included tales of classic poltergeist activity in the servants' areas of the house, mysterious footsteps, self-closing doors, lights turning themselves on and off repeatedly. There was also said to be heavy breathing heard from empty, although that was probably just Prince Andrew, in service corridors. In service corridors, and Christmas cards found to have moved unaccountably. One.
Oh, Andrew, what are you doing? Oh, sorry, mother. I'm just I'm just looking up pizzas online.
I'm here not
Have you
sweating.
seen these pizzas? They're £30,000 on this internet Etsy website.
He's just gonna do the fast show bit, isn't he? You haven't seen me, right?
Yeah.
At one point, servants were refusing to enter certain rooms alone, and a sinister phantom sack that breathed would have said to have been seen by one footman. That's really not a way to talk about Prince Andrew, is it? Both King George V and King George VI died at Sandringham. Mum's Christmas Hike, Madingley Hall. At Tudor Madingley Hall near Cambridge is now a conference centre, but was once the centre of a vast estate owned by the prominent Hind family. Sir Francis Hind was an MP during Elizabeth I's reign. When expanding the hall, he knocked down a church in the nearby village of Histon to provide building materials. This was nearly 40 years after the death of his mother, Lady Ursula, who, according to legend, turned in her grave at the destruction of the church and has been reputed to haunt the hall ever since. A ghost stalking the corridors at night and wringing her hands in anguish. Every Christmas Eve, the ghost of Lady Ursula is said to walk between the hall and the church, or what's left of it, in Histon, although nowadays she'd have to cross a motorway to get there. Scared Stiff, 50 Berkeley Square. I think this is the chicken, isn't it? Might not be. The Tower of London has often been described as the most haunted building in London. But what about the capital's most haunted house? For many years, that macabre accolade belonged to 50 Berkeley Square, an imposing Georgian townhouse in upmarket Mayfair. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the Grand Gaff was linked to mysterious deaths, with residents and guests at the house apparently seeing ghosts, and then being found dead with mouths and wives agape with frozen terror. What I want to know is, why don't you ever see a ghost in a burqa?
Not much left
A dinosaur ghost.
One such encounter.
They have white burqas, don't they?
Yeah.
They have a white sheet over their head, so
One such
it
encounter.
makes sense.
Maybe they do.
Maybe
Maybe it isn't like thousands of people in an Iraqi market. Maybe they're just all dead.
Yeah, they're all ghosts.
Okay.
Is the chat completely
Or
dead
is said they
everywhere
look like
or something?
letterboxes.
Yeah, I've not. There's no one on chat.
Yeah,
I know, it's weird. What's going on?
I don't know. There's something weird going on.
In either Rumble or
Yeah,
is
Rumble.
watching
Yeah.
on YouTube, and there's
I'll bet. Yeah, no, I can see
13
it.
on the Rumble.
on
Yeah. Let's pump those
there
likes
is a
up,
test
people.
as well.
That's what you're supposed to do, aren't you? You're supposed to go.
Yeah, come
There's
on.
13 watching. We should have at least 10 likes. You know, all that kind of rubbish.
Wait.
God.
Where's Alphabet Cat? Comment on something.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's scared shitless.
We're
That's
trying
why
to get
he's
a man.
gone to the toilet.
We're never gonna get a Manscaped sponsorship at this rate, are we? Yeah.
How are we supposed to
we
get
need
that
viewers
sweet
for.
My Pillow money if we don't get enough
Nick.
viewers and likes?
And Nick your
I still want to
ballsack
shield
with a blade.
JMK products.
JMK products.
JML.
Yeah, Mel.
Or online betting.
Ooh, this is
A
going to be a
gambling
good.
site would be alright.
You really are going to shit yourself for this one. One such encounter with the killer ghost occurred in 1887. It was Christmas Eve, and two sailors, Blunden and Martin, were on leave in London. They trawled the gloomy, foggy streets that cold evening, looking for lodgings. They happened upon 50 Berkeley Square and were pleased to find a room there for the night. The murderous haunted house had previously claimed a victim in the room which they stayed. Blunden felt uneasy in the darkness and couldn't sleep. In the middle of the night, he frantically woke up Martin in time to see a dark spectre looming towards them. Blunden went for a weapon, and the apparition darted towards him. Meanwhile, bleary-eyed Martin escaped to the street and found a bobby on the beat. The Navy man returned to the house with the cop, and to their horror, they saw Blunden at the bottom of the stairs, dead. His neck was broken, and his eyes and mouth were wide open as though he had died from fear. Ghost at the Feast,
Theory.
Raynham Hall. In the remote depths of Norfolk, shrouded shrouded by tall trees,
Norfolk.
easy for me to say, lies a manor house, Raynham Hall. In the chilly December of 1835, the house was full of guests in residence for the Christmas season. Two of the party got a little more Yuletide spirit than they had bargained for one night. A Colonel Loftus and a Mr. Hawkins were engaged one evening in a long chess battle that went past midnight. On saying good night in the landing, the two men saw a strangely dressed woman. Was she wearing a shell suit? Standing by the bedroom door of the lady of the house. The woman appeared to be wearing a centuries-old brocade and coif. I don't know if I said that. I don't know if I've said that properly. I may not have done. and after walking along the hallway a little way, vanished.
Isn't there a photo of that ghost? It's quite a famous photo.
What, the brocade and coif ghost?
Yeah, the Raynham Hall ghost.
When Colonel Loftus encountered the phantom another night, he darted after her, coming face to face with a ghost that resembled a noble woman, but also unearthly, with a hellish glow emanating from her, and no eyes.
What?
Dun, dun, dun.
When the Colonel told the owners of the hall about the apparition, far from laughing, they simply stated that he'd seen the famous Brown Lady of Raynham. Is she called the Brown Lady because your pants turn brown when you see her?
She used to like it up the shitter when she was alive, that's why.
Oh, no.
Witnessed by many others, including author Captain Marriott. A famous 1936 photograph of the hall's grand staircase claims to show the notorious spectral lady.
That's the one. Yeah.
Do you know... Sorry, just quickly, why I've called my Christmas tree Janis Joplin?
Go on then.
It's gonna die and leave needles everywhere.
Oh, fuck.
I called my Christmas tree Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse.
I was just going to say I've got menorah named Amy Winehouse, but it's yeah.
Do you remember that one when what's his name? Frankie Boyle said I'd just seen Amy Winehouse on telly. I thought it was an advert for abused donkeys.
Yeah, he doesn't say those jokes anymore, though, does he?
No, he's not funny anymore.
He's gone woke.
He's decided not to be funny anymore.
No, this is a real Fortean article, but there was a time in history where Frankie Boyle was known as comedian, and he told jokes which were funny.
They were offensive as well, yeah. Who would have thunk it? That he actually told jokes that made people laugh.
About our favourite fella Harvey. He used to say some wicked things about Harvey.
He said things about Harvey I never would have.
Yeah,
and the Scottish.
And then he moved to London and became a Londoner.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you know what? I'll try out this Linux. It sounds really good. Oh, corn! I can't tell the difference in my spag bowl. I'll have that too." And then before you know it, he's leaving 5-minute long voice notes on Telegram talking about his sordid sex life as well. Frankie Boyle, stop it. London was a mistake.
London was a mistake.
Frankie Boyle, stop it.
To any northerners listening, that's what happens when you go down south.
Is your connection shit? Yes, it is, Dom.
Yeah.
Is it got better?
I hope it has, because when you said that statement, it sounded
Have you got
right.
your phone above your head and you're waving it in front of the window now?
Don't put it above your shoulder height, because you might have a heart attack if you do that.
Just closed some tabs, so that might help.
Do you want to? Yeah. The next story is the ghostly beggar children of Bramber, Sussex. Bloody poor people.
Oh, I've got a story.
I think I've got 4 more, unless anybody else wants to say some more.
Well, I just thought we'd interject with a.
This is the last one, and then you lot can take over.
All right. Okay.
So, Bramber Castle in West Sussex for centuries owned by the powerful de Browse family, lords of Bramber. In the early 13th century, William IV, Lord of Bramber, fell out with King John. Big mistake. John pursued William across England, Ireland and Wales, seizing his lands and capturing his family. One version of events has it that William's children were held as hostages by the king and were eventually starved to death in Windsor Castle. According to local legend, the ghosts of the children are reputed to stalk the roads of the village of Bramber on dark nights, dressed in rags and chasing and accosting passers-by for food. You got a bottle of Bucky. It's what they do. Give us a bottle of Bucky. Village tradition has it that at Christmas time,
Please,
the ghosts...
sir, can I have some more? Yeah, that's too much for that.
At Christmas time, the ghosts of the children, a boy and a girl, can also be seen mournfully watching over the ruins of their former home, Bramber Castle.
I could just have a wee dram of Bucky.
If I could just have a wee
Lend us a
Bucky.
pound for Miss Sporran. Nice. What happened to the man who stole an advent calendar?
I wanted to say
what happened to the man who stole an advent?
He got.
What happened to the man who?
He got dates.
Yeah, go on. He got 25 days.
Right.
He got 25 days.
There we go. Yeah.
We did that.
I can't stand dates. They're just horrible looking things.
Non-calendar dates.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about dates.
No, but he got 25 days. Yeah.
Yes.
Why do dates only come out at Christmas?
Well, you can eat them all year round. It's like clementines and dates and walnuts. People seem to think it's Christmas food.
It's like cream eggs. Why do they only come out at Easter? You know?
Yeah.
I thought they were around. They were sold all year round.
No.
Nope.
It's.
Are they not?
Been put off dates.
Is it January to April? Is it? It's about
Something
about
like
4 months, isn't it?
Cream eggs are. Oh, cream eggs are available all year round. Just the big eggs, isn't it? The big chocolate
No, they're
eggs,
not.
which are only available.
I don't think they are.
Really?
Cream eggs are a limited edition. You don't get them all year.
Really? I thought
they're only around for like it's Easter and then like a couple of months either side.
I've only eaten 2 of them. Once because the first time I was given one, and then the second time to remind myself, is it really that sickly? And the answer is yes.
Yeah,
isn't the world record like?
And it looks a bit like jizz.
But there is this amazing thing called cream egg ice cream that only comes out at the same time. That's what you really want.
Do you know what's really good?
Looks like jizz.
Isn't the world record for eating cream eggs something like 3 or 4? It's like crazy low.
Crazy low. Yeah, because there's so much sugar in it, you fucking having a hypo.
I read.
Mark Ellman drank 2 pints of the contents of a cream egg.
Yeah.
I won't need dates because I saw a monkey die of eating one on Indiana Jones.
Scarred for life.
Dried grapes are only good from January to March, then they disappear for no reason.
Who delivers presents to baby sharks at Christmas?
With tooth fairy.
Oh no! They need to make a big cream egg the size of an Easter egg. Do you want to try to eat that?
Oh mate, no, that'd be too much. Oh god,
that's literally eating a pound of liquidized sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
I can think of some people that would do such a thing.
Yeah,
but then it's
even
awful.
for me, that's too much.
What is that fondant shit? It's like, is it sugar and flour or what is it?
It's sugar and water.
Cheese.
Just sugar and water.
That's what fondant is. It's sugar and water.
Oh, is that the white
E numbers? E numbers for the yellow bit.
Yeah. Is the whole
How to make fondant, right? We'll answer this question and I'll say Mars chocolate bars, crap, but Mars ice cream, gorgeous, absolutely wonderful, love it.
Originally they were called Fry's cream eggs after James Fry.
Fondant is a mixture of gelatin and sugar. Sorry. So.
Fry were the original confectionery company, weren't they?
Yeah, they would do like mint creams and orange creams.
Here you go. What's inside the fondant inside a thingy? Water, corn syrup. Water, corn syrup, and granulated sugar. There's 3.
Yeah, that's a corn syrup. That's the killer.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. Not corn syrup. Look, stop getting your information from the Yanks. They're wrong about everything. Look, if you want to make fondant, you get a 1/4 ounce of gelatin, you get half a pint of no, that's not half a pint of water. 59 millilitres of water, 170 grams of corn syrup. What the fuck is this? Fuck right off.
It expands in the stomach, doesn't it? And fucks you
Fucking
up.
corn syrup.
Cadbury's cream eggs are only available from January the 1st to Easter Sunday. There you go.
Yep. And the ice cream as well.
So you best run to the nearest drugstore or grocery store. What the fuck is this article? Is this Yank?
Drugstore. Look, the Americans for some reason sell cream eggs.
Oh look, I'm gonna go down to the local chemist to buy some cream eggs.
Look, this is a.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to call it Mandela effect, but this is an Americanization of our knowledge, where we think that you can only get he's responded to it. Good. I found a sort of meme about YouTube to MP3 versus Spotify Premium, and yeah.
Right, so I've found a proper site now. So it's sugar, milk, glucose syrup, cocoa butter, inverted sugar syrup. I don't know what the fuck that is. Dried
but that's
whey,
golden syrup.
Dried whey, vegetable fats, and dried egg white.
No, it's much simpler than that. To me, you just all you need is sugar and gelatin.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's nice. It's like, it's bland. I mean, to me, that's kind of like a precursor to a Turkish delight.
Someone revealed what it was, and one follower replied, "Okay, I want to go make a massive bowl of it. Now I know what it is." Why would you make a massive bowl of it? It'd kill you. Ugh.
Yeah.
I wonder why Americans have such high rates of diabetes.
Diabetes.
Biddies.
Now we know what's inside a Cadbury's cream egg.
There we go.
And I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
So, the Cock Lane ghost revisited. How about a haunting on Scandal Street?
Go for it.
In a Smithfield back alley in Georgian London, the spirit of a dead woman is accusing her lover of murder. It said the ghost of poor Fanny Lines is demanding justice.
Fanny.
Yeah, poor Fanny. Justice for Fanny. In public seances, which have now become the city's hottest ticket. In the Crampton malodorous children's bedroom, a ghost raps out answers to questions spoken aloud. The man Fanny is accused. Oh, sorry. The man Fanny is accusing comes to one of these public seances with a priest and a lawyer.
Man
Fanny. Meet them both.
Is that what we're going to call it from now on?
His accenting on that was perfect, wasn't it? The man Fanny.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. It could have done. If they said the man Fanny is accusing, which is what's written here, but it's worded funny. So the man Fanny is accusing comes to one of these public seances with a priest and a lawyer. He's going to need them both. Welcome to the Cock Lane.
His man Fanny, does he?
Yeah, welcome to the Cock Lane ghost. Welcome to the ghost of Scandal Street. Well, is it Cock Lane or is it Scandal Street?
Man Fanny and Cock Lane ghost.
Is it Cock Lane or is it Scandal Street? I mean, pick one or the other. The case involves a number of
trannies have after the operation, isn't it? A man Fanny. Go on.
Scandal Street, yeah. The story about a working class family became part of a 24-hour rolling news cycle. Oh, and this is using some real, look at me, I've got a degree in English literature. Here we go. The first use of anti-tabloid checkbook journalism. So anti is written as in up the ante. So tabloids upping the ante, checkbook journalism. Checkbook journalism? I mean, your guess is as good as mine as to what that. But I'm just assuming it's
checkbook journalism is just literally where they throw out checks to get quotes.
Oh right, okay.
Oh, okay.
So in other words,
I think it's more like whoever's in the story, you offer them the most amount of money, so they only tell the story to your paper.
All right. So and it goes on to say checkbook journalism to poach writers and secure exclusives. It's a very early example of a ghost-seeking flash mob before they became established in the following century.
Oh,
and features for the
because ghost-seeking flash mobs are just fucking everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well,
What?
yeah. It's a very according to Fortean
like,
Times.
fill your story up with tabloid cliches and moan about tabloids.
It's who wrote this article?
Without
Does
a
it
hint
say?
of irony.
Does it say who wrote that? Oh my god, it goes on for ages. Right, I'm only going to read part of this then. It's a very early example of ghostly type. I've said that bit. Actually questioning the notion of actually questioning spirits of the dead in a domestic situation over an extended period and expecting answers that weren't chiefly of religious nature but rather tend towards the sensational and melodramatic. It was the black gin-soaked kernel of what was to become a full-blown Victorian table-tipping,
my
underwear
God.
disturbing, trumpet-tooting seance. Mr. I bought a Theosaurus for Christmas and now I'm making the most of it.
Look, Mum, I can use a Theosaurus.
So now we got some.
Tyrannosaurus from Viz.
Yeah.
So here we got some editorialising. When I was 11 years old, I remember sitting in my English class, a cold room on the Sussex
They're
coast,
doing that thing that you love about recipes, modern day recipes, aren't they?
where they got to give you the context of, when I had cheese on toast, I was an 11-year-old boy on the cold Sussex coast, and it warmed me up. Listening to the famous opening lines of Charles Dickens' Tale of Two Cities, and being read aloud to the boys, even the Cock Lane Ghost. Dickens had written in his preamble on the causes of the French Revolution, had been laid out only round. Yeah, so anyway, blah blah blah. So it looked over to me. Since my interest in ghosts was well known thing at the school, especially after Lights Out, he asked me about the Cock Lane Ghost. Could I shed any light into it? To my annoyance, I could not. 35 years later, I'm no closer to the truth, but here's 4 pages in Fortean Times about it.
What's that? Do you remember that one we read the other week from the 14 Times? We read it. It was nothing about what it said it was about. It was about cannibalism, and then it said, "Well, you don't really find stories like this about." No, cannibals in the underground, weren't it? That's what we were. That's what it was talking about. But it said
it's almost like a. It's almost as if the Fortean Times have taken a leaf out of our book, and they'll do a Fortean words where we say we're going to talk about a subject, then after about an hour in, well, it's like we talk about something tangentially related to the subject, but not the subject itself.
After tons of word soup.
Wait, I've always found that I don't know whether you've read a fair bit of the Fortean like me. It's like it's quite lefty and quite sceptical, isn't it? There we go. Ian's gone.
It has a non-biased approach. So
yeah, it's
neither
almost
one or
like
the other.
a lot of them are like non-believers, isn't it? And it's like, look at these silly people and their crazy ideas.
Yeah.
There is no Mothman according to the Fortean Times.
Yeah.
But people see it.
So here we go. It's late January 1762. I'm writing as if to set the scene because
how many pages
this is the
down
fashion.
are you before they start the ghost story?
I'm still on the first bloody page. For weeks, rival newspapers have been fighting. Cock Lane Ghost, blah waffle drone, blah waffle drone, blah waffle drone. Oh, there's a picture. Do we want the picture? It's one of those wood carvings, which is also put in magazines and stuff.
Oh, which episode you read?
You know, where you get like London Illustrated papers. Yeah, I'll post it for you, and then you can see for yourself.
Do a snip, and then I'll put it up.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what I'm dealing with there, and so yeah, there's a beautiful illustration of a spooky lane called Cock Lane. But anyway, in the 14th century, it was London Red Light District. Oh, well, that's why they call it Cock Lane. It still hosts courtesans who advertise their services with the sign "Soiled Doves." Ah, the name is Cock Lane. Some commenter, fucking hell, we're still on the thing. Like, did you know it's called Cock Lane?
Cock so many times, right?
Cock Lane, cock. Drunken crowd saying Cock Lane, cock. Cock Lane. Before midnight, rubbernecking crowd, Cock Lane, Hackney carriage, Charing Cross. King himself, Duke of York, reigning fashion, homosexual, egged on it seems by the homosexual assistant creator of Gothic, Horace Walpole. It's worth pointing out, up until August that year, Edward Duke of York was
Heir presumptive to the British throne. Anyway, Blair Waffle Drone, Analogies, Prince Charles, Gore Vidal, here though Walpole, Washing Line reminds him puppets, murdering inches, although murdering there by inches. In such insufferable
Is this
heat
a
and
Twilight
stench.
fanfic?
Yeah, pretty much. Walpole, too late to George Montagu, says, I've got nothing to do with Cock Lane, so I'm not reading all that stuff. George II, implicit faith in the German notion of vampires, nothing to do with Cock Lane. As to what he witnessed in Cock Lane, Walpole thought it was a pantomime in which a drunken parish clerk set on foot out of revenge. He also thought the Methodist Church was behind it, and this newly formed and rapidly expanding religion had in its earliest days a keen interest in the supernatural thanks to the childhood experiences of its founder John Wesley. I thought it was Thomas Fox. Okay, John Wesley is the founder of Methodism. So who's Thomas Fox?
Yeah, it's Wesleyan. They're called Wesleyan chapels, aren't they?
I mean, just briefly, if I type in Thomas Fox.
And where's the ghost? Where's the ghost? When does the ghost arrive?
Yeah.
Thomas Fox landscape. Well, we're on the second page, and I'm like 2/3 through it, and still talking about like Walpole and his poles and inches and cocks. Perhaps Walpole the second reason to go to Cock Lane on that Oh, look, Stormy Night. Oh, fuck off, Mister. It's my first writing assignment for my English bachelor's degree. Fuck's sake. If I wish I was the invigilator for this, so I could just like piss all over his like workers, just like fuck you, I hate you. It's like, sir, this isn't a public restroom.
Flocky knocky pahilification. There's a lot of flocky knocky pahilification going on, isn't there?
There is a lot of yes.
Oh, wait, we stopped.
Waffle. No. So with some delicious list formerly known as the Naked Boy, mere months later, the landlord of the Fortune of War, which was formerly known as the Naked Boy, was this where it's like Chuck's fucking suck. Formerly Sneeds.
Like something Michael Jackson would like.
It's Sneeds, Feed and Seed, formerly Chuck's. Have been convicted of sodomy and sentenced to death. A sentence quickly revoked with royal pardon given by the Duke of York's brother George III. Horace Walpole, a discreet gay man, well aware of the dangers of
discreet.
So, fucking hell. So, what are we going to do? Scratching Fanny makes theatre in Four Doors Down,
Fanny,
responds Walpole. Changing the subject. So, look, says the Duke, pointing to the pub, my brother's recently pardoned that pitiful sodomite. Scratching Fanny makes theatre only 4 doors down, responds Walpole, changing the subject as the crowd parts let the carriage through. Scratching Fanny, or Miss Fanny's New Theatre, as the Cock Lane Ghost was known at the time, had its origin in the clandestine relationship. In October 1759, Richard Parsons, the Clerk of St. Sepulchres. There's a St.
of it. This reminds me of the cannibals in the
All I
Underground.
hear is Cock and Fanny. That's it. It's like,
Is this a carry-on film?
Naked boys and sodomy and Walpole and his inches.
this is just Twilight fanfic.
Is this a ghost story?
What the thing is, when I started off reading this about 3 pages ago, it says the Cock Lane Ghost Revisited. So forgive me for believing that this was something to do about ghosts, which would have a Christmassy theme to it. Because what's more Christmas than getting your knob polished
It really
at Cock
warms my
Lane?
cockles.
Oh, it doesn't warm my cock. No.
Well, that geezer was certainly giving someone the willies, weren't
So the Clerk of St. Sepulchres, which is the church that almost backs onto Cock Lane. The back door entrance is on Cock Lane.
So that geezer backed onto the Cock Lane?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
He just wanted to go to church. It's not his fault it backs onto Cock Lane. For some reason we shall never know, the man William Kent took a show. Who's the tosser that wrote this? I want to just complain. I'm going to write to Fortean word. My God, it carries on for another 5 pages. Roger Clark. Here we go. Roger Clark is a former writer and film critic at The Independent. His book, A Natural History of Ghosts, is widely available from Penguin. Has recently been published in
Imagine reading
Japanese.
his book on A Natural History of Ghosts. Are there any actual ghosts in it, or is he just talking about benders all the time?
Let me just see if I can find Robert Clark on Twitter. I need to write a letter of complaint.
I found a 7-year-old article of yours and it was shit.
Look, this thing about is that foreign policy director of marketing stand together?
Probably.
I don't think that's the one. He looks American. No, this Robert Clark is Roger Clark. Oh, that would help if I could spell his name right. Roger Clark.
Tell that fucking skeptic pull his fucking finger out. No.
Yeah, well, he hasn't got back to me yet, has he? It seems if I type in Roger Clark, I end up with Black Cyclist Network, which probably explains a thing or two.
Probably the gay Black Cyclist Network.
This day in our past, June 11th, 1940, Roger Clark is born in Glen Islay, Westmoreland, the son of Amanda Watson and Winston Clark. And it's a black man. And this Roger Clark here, I can tell you, he's not a black
right
man.
About cyclists.
Yeah.
This is the guy who wrote the ghost book with no ghosts in it. Roger Clark.
Oh, I'll just quickly read out the last bit. I've scrolled 5 pages down, and we're getting into it now. At another séance, bigger and bolder than before, on the 5th of January, the Knox explicitly accused Kent of murder. The public ledger began fielding the story. Kent read it and decided to approach Reverend Moore. Kent agreed to attend a séance on the 12th of January. At one point, Parsons cried out, "Kent, ask the ghost if you are to be hanged."
I think he's still writing for the. I found Roger Clark in the Independent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's.
Well, write him a note saying, "Look, my mate read out your article."
Grim Legacies: The Magic Spell of Grimm's Folk and Fairy Tales by.
Look, so,
by
tell him
Jack
I.
Zeeps.
I just listened to a reading of your article of Cock Lane, and it's fucking shit.
You are.
Do you understand what ghosts are and what telling a story about ghosts is about? How's that English degree working out for you, Roger Clark?
Well, I
dickhead.
can't find out any more about it. They just show you his articles. They don't really want to let you know much about him.
Well, it's like when you try to approach Mariana Strop or whatever her name is on the BBC Investigate. It's like, hey, can you investigate this? Oh God, imagine if people just sending her a dick pic saying, "Oh, can you investigate this for right-wing extremism?" No, I'm not suggesting doing that.
The less said.
I think
about
I've just come up with a Christmas joke.
Oh, I can explain it. He was educated at Oxford University, where he read English at Magdalen.
Yeah, that explains it. So he's learnt to say much about nothing. So anyway, what's the Christmas note, John?
No man should compete in a women's swimming event.
Snowman?
That's not very funny.
No man.
I'll find that homophobic.
Yeah.
Where's the punchline?
What would Fanny think about this?
Yeah.
Man's Fanny, yeah.
Fanny
How would he feel? Yeah.
How would Roger Clark feel about this?
Well, if you want to know what Roger's currently reading, he's currently reading Ghost: A Cultural History by Susan Owens, Shaftesbury Recollections by Eric Olson, and An English Affair, Sex, Class and Power in the Age of Profumo by Richard Hines Davenport.
I mean, he's the sort of man that if you asked him to write a recipe of beans on toast, he'll write you like 10 pages of, let me tell you about Cock Lane.
He's going to do a book about that gay bloke and just talk about the Cock Lane ghost and nothing else, isn't he?
Fuck you, Roger Clark.
Right there. How did Mary and Joseph know how heavy
he might be dead.
was when...
I know.
What, Roger Clark? Did he die suddenly?
Did he die before or after he wrote this?
He wrote it from beyond the grave.
I know, he died in Leicester, 12th of January 1998, so that can't be him because he would have died before he wrote the article.
But what if...
Stop them these days.
What Fraser said was right? He wrote this from
this
beyond the grave.
For the living. Yeah, fucking...
He's currently in hell writing long-form articles about ghosts.
Which aren't about ghosts at all. But yeah.
That's why he's in hell. Because he can't write
about what Satan does to him on the daily, right?
Yeah.
Cocklayne and
Roger's
buggering
personal
and-
hell. He's down there in hell writing articles that get to the point. That's his worst. Oh, Rumble's dropped. No, Rumble should be still going.
I've got a quick joke though. How did
Okay.
Mary and Joseph know how heavy Jesus was when he was born?
I don't remember in the
They had a
Bible
way.
saying.
Oh.
He had a way in a manger.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you go. Get it? You get it? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It out.
What did Adam say the day before Christmas?
Don't know.
Fuck you,
Christmas
Donovan.
Eve.
I hope your
Oh,
dick
No,
falls.
it's
fuck
Christmas
me.
Eve.
Oh, okay. I thought he was
Okay.
going to say, "Fuck you, Donovan. I hope your dick falls
No.
off."
Fuck you, Roger, whatever his name was. You can't write about stuff.
I just think of poor Roger Clark writing in hell, and it's like literally like he starts trying to wander off the point, and the devil just fucking rips it up, makes him start again.
Do you think
Why
he's
don't
like a
you-
minor demon in hell? Like the way he tortures people is he's going to tell them a story about ghosts, and then he just talks about buggery and his 17th century gay crushes.
Was the night before
I
Christmas.
got no indication it's not working on Rumble.
Hang on.
It's working for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
have a
I
look.
It's
think
even
it's
got
still
that
on,
illustration.
Can I? Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. I really should have invested in one of those carbon monoxide detectors.
Yep.
Nice.
Boom,
That story
boom.
gave me the willies.
Oh.
Do you want a spooky Christmas tale?
Yes.
Is
Is
this
Is
one
it
actually
about
going to get to the
Big
point?
on ghosts?
Like
No,
Hobbits?
Ian.
This
Ian.
is, and it's about Christmas. And
Ian, is
not-
it got ghosts in it, and is it about Christmas?
about Christmas.
Is it written by Roger Clark?
I don't know. I just got it off the internet, but it might have been. But we'll soon find out. So this is the.
He needs to go on Twitter so I can bully him.
Oh, okay then. One Christmas, when I was a kid, my family lived on the ground floor of an apartment complex. I remember
Oh, it's
one
American.
day on a Saturday that my mum said that Santa was in our apartment block. We went to the event room in the complex, and they were doing a meet Santa type of thing. Wasn't a whole lot of people there, but those who had kids would bring them along to meet Santa. When we got there in the line, my sister and I met Santa. Remember when it was my turn, he asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I told him I wanted a new PlayStation. He asked me if I
He's
lived
sounding a
here,
bit like Chris
and I told him
Eubank
that I
for some
lived right-
reason.
Yeah.
Can you say
Right down the hall.
pugilism?
Can you tell us you're a pugilist, Ian?
I'm a pugilist. So, he then said he would see what he could do about getting me the PlayStation and gave me a candy cane. We then went back home, and I think I made some holiday cookies or something. I don't really remember that well. But there was, but where the story really gets
That was
interesting
Hypnol.
is later that night. I was in my bed and not feeling that sleepy. I was just laying there playing with my Game Boy.
Is that
I
like
was in the
is,
middle of my level on the game when I heard it.
is that Roger Walpole's
It's a handheld.
euphemism for willies?
Yeah. Anyway, I was in the middle of the level on the game when I heard a noise come from the window, which was literally right next to my bed. I looked up through the blinds, which were open so that you could see through them, and I saw Santa standing right outside my window, and it really shocked me. He motioned for me to open the window, and I did. He then smiled and asked if I remembered him. I told him yes, and he handed me another candy cane. He told me he wanted to show me his sleigh. I knew something felt off about this situation. I didn't really think that Santa was supposed to show up at my window like this, because it wasn't Christmas Eve yet. It was like a week before. But he was Santa after all, so I told him I'd like to see it. He told me to come out the window, so I opened it wider. as I was about to climb out the window, the door to my room opened. It was my mother, and when she saw what was going on, she ran to grab me. When she did, Santa turned and ran away into the night. She asked me what was going on, and when I explained to her, she told me that that man at my window was not really Santa, just an imposter pretending to be him. He then called the police. By the time they got there, the man was long gone. I was young, but when I spoke to my mum about it, the incident in recent years, she told me that the man dressed as Santa who was in the apartment that day was located and caught by the police. I'm so glad that my mum came into my room when she did. There you go. Don't
Ooh.
let Santa
Ooh.
get you to open the window. Okay?
Well, you should know if you live in a block of flats,
Don't let
Father
Santa in.
Christmas.
Is that the moral of the story?
It's not Santa,
up
it's
to you,
Father
isn't it?
Christmas.
Probably end up getting bummed by Santa if you let him in.
Father
I'm sure that
Christmas.
was what was going to happen.
Father Christmas.
Yeah.
No. Look, if you live in the house with the chimney, Father Christmas
Saint
will come
Nicholas.
down there.
Yeah.
But if you live in the flats, you'll get Purple Aki, also known as Santa Claus, come through the
Heal you
window.
up.
And he's like, flex your muscles. And it's like, but I thought you were Santa Claus. It's like, yeah, I'm going to get my claws in your biceps.
Purple Santa.
Have you noticed that Santa is an anagram of Satan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That's why I
Weird,
don't say
isn't
it. Father Christmas.
Father Christmas. Yeah.
And have you noticed that you never see Santa in hospital? That's because he's got private elf care.
Ah, yes.
Well, that's what you
Yes,
say to him,
quite.
don't you? Say, as long as you've got your elf,
Yeah.
that's the main thing, isn't it?
Yes.
True.
You know
yeah.
what? I've had enough of Christmas all year long. I work my fingers to the bone to buy all the presents for my kids. And what happens Christmas morning? That fat fucker with a beard gets all the credit. Still, I suppose it's my fault for marrying her.
Oh.
Right.
Boom, boom.
It was actually his wife, yeah. Right.
Eh,
Good stuff.
Nasty. Nasty.
Right, real or bullshit then? You want a real or bullshit? Which is
Go on then.
real or bullshit. Coca-Cola invented the modern image of Santa.
Real.
Real.
Yes.
Well, let's see.
No.
Pop culture version of
Well, that's
the modern
because
Santa
we've always
has a-
called it Father Christmas, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, the story I know of Saint Nicholas, which we based Father Christmas
Saint
on.
Nicholas
you
used
know-
to wear green anyway.
Yeah, it's green.
Saint-
Yeah.
Saint Nicholas was a priest in Constantinople, and on Christmas Day he'd give the whores a couple of coins so that they wouldn't have to go whore themselves, and he'd say "Merry Christmas."
Whores.
Yeah, whores.
Istanbul, not
Yeah.
Constantine.
Dirty girls.
well.
The dirty girls.
In pop culture, the version.
No, in Istanbul
Version of
he'd be like
modern
taking all their
Santa.
children and buggering them,
Right.
because that's what
The
Turks
modern
like to
version
do.
of Santa emerged.
I mean, you ever read a story about Janissaries? That's a
Janissaries.
Fortean subject.
Not Janissaries.
Janissaries, yeah. It was,
Janissaries.
Janissaries is basically like, it's Bakabazi, but more militaristic.
Not Janissaries.
Janissaries.
You
Janissaries.
keep
Oh, it was
saying
Janissaries.
Anyway,
yeah.
it's bullshit. It's
You keep saying
bullshit.
Janissaries.
Coca-Cola
Stop
didn't
it.
invent the modern.
It's Janissaries. You keep putting the anus into Janissaries.
Well, Coca-Cola definitely market
That
we're
Clark
using Santa
bloke.
Claus, don't they? I mean, that can't be denied.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, they didn't. Coca-Cola didn't invent the modern version of Santa
Oh,
Claus.
okay.
Yeah.
Who did?
That's
Who did?
what. It was an amalgamation of various things. Red and white garb came to define the jolly future. Coca-Cola just jumped on the image, and it became more popular in the 30s with the Depression. Blowing their sales, the company unveiled an ad campaign featuring Santa Claus guzzling down not a glass of milk, but an ice-cold Coke between present deliveries. And red and white attire fitted well into Coke's corporate branding. So that's why. But the actual image of Santa wasn't their idea. They just adopted it and pushed it more. So
Stole it.
What that was. Look, it's a summer drink, isn't it? So, very clever of them to do that.
No one thought of leaving him a glass of Rehypnol.
What, in the milk?
See what happens. No one else gets presents.
It's typical of the Americans. It's like
No,
leave
no.
them
Bill
leave them a biscuit and
Cosby
a glass
probably-
of milk. I mean, at least in our country, it's like you get a mince pie and a glass of sherry.
Real or bullshit? Christmas trees have always been part of Christmas.
Bullshit.
Prince
Real or
Albert
bullshit?
popularised that.
It says
It was,
here,
one
evergreen
of the
trees
kings,
were already popular
Prince
in
Albert.
pagan rites.
No, it's Prince Albert.
Before
Prince
the
Albert is
birthdays.
German. It was their tradition, and they popularised it in the United Kingdom
Prince
because
Albert in a
Queen
can.
Victoria's like, yeah, I'm having a Christmas
And he-
tree.
And he invented the cock ring, didn't he, as well?
You keep
Um,
saying
no.
that. Like, you know what? You're a bit like
Yeah.
Spurks. You keep saying, "Oh, Linux is brilliant. You should use it." Like, what is it with people where they just tell themselves these lies and hope they'll believe it? Like Roger Clark, every day when he looks himself in the mirror and goes, "I'm a professional journalist. I am. I know how to write really long stories that everyone will want to read."
I know how to write carry on episodes.
Yes. Why is it harder to buy advent calendars? Because
Because
their days are numbered.
oh,
The days are numbered. Yeah.
um,
What-
dates
what were you
are
gonna
not
say?
just.
Christmas. Dates are for life, not just for Christmas.
Hey, the wife has just been diagnosed with an iron deficiency, so I bought her a new one for Christmas.
Chaos says the
effective.
evolution of Russian snooker by In Off the Red.
My missus come down with laryngitis. I rang the doctor and said, "Can you come round in a couple of months' time?"
Oh dear.
Yeah. So who's got a ghost story? Anyone else?
Well, not me.
Oh, blown.
No?
Hobbits was great.
You
I
didn't
I
I
have one.
thought
no,
I had a ghost story, but
Yeah.
actually what it was about bum sex in Cock Lane.
what was that other one you were trying to read, Hobbit?
That was the one. Sorry.
The story was.
I
so
No, the
thought
one
long.
it
about
was-
someone who went
The story was
missing.
so long.
Someone who went missing.
Yeah, the missing
Oh.
someone or other. I thought you were going to read that one. Missing little fat kid or whatever his name.
It was the ghost that went missing from the story.
I think what you're saying is missing from my mind because I don't know about this.
Yeah, you said you started to
I've
read
got
it,
a
and then you turned out
story.
you weren't missing at all or something.
Well,
The
that's not
curious
really a
case-
missing
the curious
person
case
story,
of
is it? It's
somebody.
like
It was the curious case
The-
of somebody. and he
the
went
mysterious
missing.
case of somebody who was gone for a bit and then came back. It's not very. It's not very mysterious, is it?
I don't know. You
But
said you
look,
start-
there's a story after the Ghost Lane story, and it actually has Christmas in the title. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh,
The strange disappearance of Oliver Lurch. On Christmas Eve, 1889, young Oliver Lurch went to fetch some water from the well and was never seen again. His cries of terror echoing on the night skies over Indiana. Theo Pajamas and Chris Ulbeck turn literally detectives and attempt to trace his enduring weird tale back to its ultimate source. Of all stories of mysterious vanishing, none strikes a greater chord than that of the disappearance of Oliver Morton Lurch. We said the bit about 1889, so I'm not reading that again. Oliver Lurch was asked by his father to fetch water from the well. We've said this bit. Bucket, lead, door, strangely, night sky. Help, he has got me. Oliver Lurch was never seen again. The guests saw they heard the faint voice up front, pitch back. Oh, right, okay. I've got a proper, spooky story to tell you, right? And it's about the Dark Wizard of Casper, Wyoming. And you see, what happened was there was this cowboy in this huge truck that just drove past the Dark Gord himself and said, "Nice glasses, Harry Potter." And then what this dark wizard did is he took his wand out and pointed it at the truck and says, "I hope you have a car crash." And then what happened? But shortly after he took a turn, the truck rolled over and it crashed. And then, as the dark wizard himself was going to the liquor and tobacco store, the guy said, "Fuck! I got into a car crash." And the reason I mentioned that story, because if you'll believe that, you'll believe this bit. Strangely, the young man's footprints stopped short of the well, as if he had disappeared suddenly. The guests swore they heard a faint voice far up in the pitch-black night sky saying, "Help! It has got me! Fuck, I got into a car crash! Oliver Lurch has never seen again." I mean, that's definitely what... Like, I'm not sure if any of you guys have had the misfortune of being in a car crash before, but the first thing I utter in it is, "Fuck, I've got into a car crash," and definitely not, "Oh no, I've shit myself." Over the years, this story has been retold in countless books and articles, from the point that even today a Googly search for it produces thousands of results in several languages. There's something universally disturbing about tales of missing children saying, "Fuck, I got into a car crash," especially when the ultimate fate remains a mystery. But what exactly is the story of Lurch? Was it fiction, folklore, or genuine incident? Well, we'll never know because the way people write in these bloody articles. The Fate version. A long time it assumed that Lurch's story originated in the pages of Fate, an American magazine devoted to UFOs, wet-ass pussies now, and the paranormal, with a publication of what happened to Oliver Lurch in September 1950. It appeared to be a full account, with details such as the time and date of the event and several named witnesses amongst the 20 guests. Tom Lurch, head of the family. Oliver's unnamed mother and elder brother Jim, aged 23. Oliver's pretty girlfriend, Lillian Hirsch, as opposed to... Oh yeah, Lillian Hirsch is known for her beauty. A Methodist minister, Reverend Samuel Malalu.
Perfectly pronounced there, Hobbit.
Thank you. It's writer Joseph Rosenberger.
I do struggle with those Greek names.
I do. I certainly do.
Why do they have ridiculously long names?
Why didn't they just go back to those proper names they had in ancient Greece? Those were good names, those.
Yeah.
Artemis and shit.
So the writer, Joseph Rosenberg, threw in some theories to good measure. Did the grapnel of a passing balloon drag off Oliver? I mean, that was, it was a common hazard back in the 1850s, wasn't it? Hot air balloons, grapnels.
Airships.
Did an eagle carry him away? I mean, that's one of the things that you definitely do as a balloonist. It's like, somebody's been...
the kid who says, "Oh, fuck, I'm in a car accident," is definitely not going to say, "Oh, fuck, I've been picked up by an eagle," is he?
Oh no, I've been grapnelled by a passing balloonist and he's going to take me into the Gulf of Mexico, never to be seen again. Did an eagle carry him away? Did one of the guests, jealous of the attentions of Lillian, murder the lad and stash his body somewhere? Rosenberger's article was influential amongst early Fortean and UFO writers, who were quick to suggest yet another theory. Lurch has been one of the first UFO abductees. It was taken seriously enough to be mentioned in a list of mysterious disappearances compiled by the then Vice President of the Pennsylvania Folklore Society.
He's been taken by an UFO.
He got took by an UFO. UFO done took him away. No, I'm more inclined to believe it was the grapnel of a passing balloonist, and balloonists are notorious for kidnapping.
Oh fuck! I've been picked up by a balloon.
Oh fuck! I got into a car crash. However, when Rosenberg was asked years later whether the tale was true or he confessed, "There's not a single bit of truth. Single bit of the truth to the Oliver Lurch tale, and if you try and sue me, I'll counter-sue you for defamation." This would have been the end of the line for Oliver Lurch if a few years ago we not come across evidence the story was much older. Oh. So back in time, as the historians of Forteanus, and that's Mr. Walpole's investigation. Yeah. Fuck you, Roger Clark. I bet he did get rogered when he was at boarding school. I bet he was the runt of everybody's jokes when he was there.
Why do you think he wrote that fan fiction? Like,
Fuck him. Tosser.
Everyone gets Rogers at boarding school.
Well, him especially.
Yeah.
I mean,
Especially
he was the one who enjoyed the attention of the perv teachers.
By some older boys. Or maybe he played the
I
biscuit
like
game
your
and lost on
I
purpose.
like your rage at Roger Clark for having to read out his crap journalism.
Mm. Oh, I'm getting a notice that I've been put into the naughty step.
oh no.
Your account has received the note due to participation in the server that violates our community guidelines.
What?
Ah. So there was.
Is this still a bit Oliver Lurch?
I know it's not Fortean related, but I'll tell afterwards. It's quite funny.
You got
So
community noted on Twitter.
well, there is this game, and
Oh, okay.
I'm part of its server, and now the server's been shut down because they're like, we don't approve of your freedom of speech.
You've been having fun.
You've been having a bit too much fun on the gaming server, playing games for fun. This is no since iconic Fortean tales often born in the pages long forgotten turn of the century publications. These stories cause ripple effects. They are picked up, embellished and distributed further by yet other newspapers and magazines until that's what I was waiting for us. It's like, got to get this out before I burp. Until the public wearied of reading them, but they were finally allowed to die. But then, after any number of years, when they're struggling to find new content, which is like, well, let's just dig up the Oliver Lurch story again. Let's just tell it to a new generation, which is what we're doing now. Hands of another writer who might stumble across them in a library and claim
So
they
he
were
really said,
exclusive to Scoot.
oh, fuck, I'm in a cart accident.
Yeah, that's it. In our research, we had observed this process countless times, and it turns out the story of Oliver Lurch is no different. Rosenberger lied.
No.
But Rosenberger's
Not
it's a
Rosenberger.
byword for
That's
honesty.
such a trustworthy name.
Rosenberger is a byword for
I
ethics
don't believe
in
someone
journalism.
called Rosenberger could have told a lie. I just don't believe it.
A teller of tall tales.
Whoa.
Whoa, bro.
Before 1950, the Oliver Lurch story had already gained attention in the international press. In 1947, an Australian newspaper called Bonza, that's amazing.
Bonza.
When they were doing
Bonza, mate.
When they were doing a story of the everlasting biro, which happened to only be used for about a month.
You can get that in Australia, right? Yeah.
I've been watching the Fast Show. The trail did not stop there. The LA Times repeated the tale in 1939. What? Hang on. So you're saying in 1947, an Australian newspaper published the article, but then in 1939, which is 8 years prior to 1947, I mean, this is how dates work, right? Repeated
During the war.
story. So, and in 1937, the English newspaper Lancashire Evening Post retold the story as the second in one advertised as a new series of real-life puzzles with solutions offered by famous authors. With journalism, like when universities, there used to be like it was a meritocracy. Like you could only enter university if you're bright enough. Like if you was a man of learning, and they would do exams to like test like if you're just like some numbskulled numpty or whatever. But then it seems you go into journalists.
I think they sort for the numpties now, don't they?
Well, I was just going to say, surely the entrance exam is like, if you can pass the entrance exam, you're disqualified for a journalism degree.
Why does that matter when those numpties will pay $9,000 a year?
Oh, that's very cynical, Fraser. How dare you get to the actual crux of the matter? How dare you? Farjian was asked to crack the Lurch riddle.
Has anybody read the jokes from the YouTube chat?
No.
Why does Santa always come through the chimney? Because he knows better than to try the back door. What's the difference between snowmen and snow women? Snowballs.
Oh.
That's an old one.
Yeah.
Boom! So anyway, J. Jefferson Farjion was asked to crack the Lurch riddle, and his ingenious solution involved murder most foul and an arc of ventriloquism. We searched deeper still and found that Lurch's story was repeated even further. Oh, so it's repeated back in time, yeah.
in 1921, in 1914, in an Australian newspaper in 1913, in several American and New Zealand papers in 1907, and in a number of American, Australian, New Zealand newspapers in December 1906. It seemed the harder we looked, the older the story became. We felt like geologists peeling back dusty strata in our search for the elusive original source. The story and its reach have evidently been far greater than anyone thought. Rather than a fringe topic that has spread from the pages of Fate to a niche audience interested in the paranormal, it captivated the imagination of generations of readers on a global scale. We still had to find out who wrote it, however. The Scrapbook. I first broke through and came across an article published in New York Magazine, The Scrapbook, in November 1906, entitled Stories of Strange Disappearances. It was an unremarkable compilation of people who had gone missing, except the last account titled Vanished into Space. This was the Oliver Lurch story over 40 years before Rosenberger sold it, almost word to word to Fate. It was advertised as an original article written for the Scrapbook, but unfortunately the author was anonymous, and there was not a single source of reference. Before we could determine whether anything truly happened at Frightful Christmas Eve, we need to be sure of the details. Taking a second look at the clippings we had collected, we noticed a small puzzling reference among newspapers. Current Lurch story 97, the Eckhart Review, which is a small newspaper published in Eckhart, Indiana, mentioned a Mishawakawa correspondent had provided a story about the apparition of a slain woman seen in the house where she was brutally murdered. It continued, the same correspondent is the one who gave the hair-raising story of the transcension of Oliver Lurch near Mishawakawa. Is that in Japan? Mishawaka on Christmas night in 1899. It sounds Japanese. Mishawaka is a city on the St. Joseph River in the South Bend, Mishawaka metropolitan area. I'll try saying that if you've had a couple of Moscow meals. But what really piqued our interest was the implication the identity of the author of Oliver Lurch's story was known. Focusing on the particular newspaper, we had found an even earlier source. In the early January 1905, the Eckhart Review commented that a telegraph liar, who seems to be the grandfather of them all, has sent a story from Mishawaka. A telegraph liar, is that like a job?
Is that Fozzie Bear? Is it Waka Waka?
Maybe, but I'm confused by the phrase.
That's the noise Pac-Man makes, isn't it? Waka
Waka was what Fozzie Bear used to say when he used to tell it.
Yeah, Waka Waka. A telegraph liar. Have you ever heard the phrase a telegraph liar before?
I don't know. Is that a bit like a...
No. Self-explanatory, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been lying by telegraph.
Yeah.
It's a long process.
Using telegraph to spread malicious communications and disinformation.
There you go.
I mean, why didn't they just call it... Well, they wouldn't use the term shitposter, would they? They're trying to be professional, these tossers. It felt as though at last we were getting close to the ultimate source, and we all burrowed through countless online and offline... Is there
like a random gay guy that has something tangentially to do with it that we could just talk about instead?
Yeah, I mean, is Rosenberger a buggerer? Oh god, this is still going on over and over again. Charles has vanished into thin air, vanishing in plain sight. Oh, it's still going on. Autobiography. Chris Orbeck founded the Magnolia Exchange project and has co-authored 3 Fortean books to date in English and Spanish. His latest being Return to Magnolia. Theo Pajamanas contributes regularly to Fortean Times
with those Greek names
and other publications. His book, Free Energy Pioneer, How to Pronounce Greek Names, was recently published in Japan. We got some book notes. So anyway, finally, the story of Oliver Lurch can be laid to rest. We now know who wrote it, what its source of inspiration was, and where this tale first appeared. One of the world's most puzzling mystery disappearances story has spoke countless readers over the more century as no more. So, So there's no doubt Irving Lewis's remake the same year drew from Bierce's original, although Lewis may never have even been aware of the original author. This is the classic Lurch story, and even ends with the boy's disembodied voice lingering in the sky. If anybody knows the fate of Charles Ashmore, it is probably his mother, writes Bierce. She is dead.
Is that kid? Is he the guy from? One of the Austin Powers movies, isn't it? I fell down the pit. I'm still alive. I've broken my leg.
I'm in a lot of pain. Let me see. No, it's definitely broken.
I mean,
Yes.
at least the previous journalists had innuendos.
Yeah, I mean, this
Quite
was a
frequently, too.
dry article. You'd think Greeks, what with inventing buggery, would have put a bit of homosexual behaviour in it, but no. Oh, speaking of Ken Loach and all that stuff, I found a spiritual successor to the film Kess.
What's that?
It's from 2014. It's called Robot Overlords, and there's a boy in it, and the boy looks like the absolute spitting image of the tosser who they follow in that film.
Yeah.
You know the socially awkward kleptomaniac,
Socially awkward kleptomaniac.
the one who stole a bird's egg,
He
and he's like, "I've
He
got a
done save that
kestrel."
bird. What are you talking about?
Well, he didn't, did he? That bird got shoved in the bin. That's a fate worse than death, that is.
I bet. Spoilers, fuck's sake.
Spoilers, but a film called Kess from the 1960s is fucking awful, and Northerners and Ken Loach are tossers.
I read the
And
book.
Ivy
I had to read the
Tilty.
book and watch the film when I was a kid. That was one of our books.
Oh
at school.
God, a
Yeah.
fate worse than
Fucking
death.
torture.
I
You
mean,
get
from-
of mice and men like everyone else.
Yeah, I did that
Fucking-
as
I-
well. Did that
Oh,
as well.
fucking hell, you're extra. Fucking
I
hell.
didn't get that.
We had
when-
all the happy books. That and
I don't know what,
there's
but
this really
when I was in
fucking-
school,
There's this really creepy story called The Gift, and it was no, it wasn't about that gift Hobbit. It was called, it was called
that
The
was
Gift.
creepy.
It was called The Gift, and it was just like some, is it a boy or a girl? I can't remember the protagonist. Like being followed by some weird old fucking bloke with psychic powers.
The
Stranger
Can I
danger.
Yeah, stranger.
Can I
Psychic stranger danger.
Yeah.
Can I refresh everyone with a short, succinct story that doesn't go into the weeds?
Okay.
please.
Okay.
Is it a
Right.
ghost story?
Claiming
Claiming he,
fucking
Is
I
it-
mean,
is
he
it
had to
is it
pay
written by
it-
Bubble.
no, it's just it's a paragraph, a small paragraph,
Go on then.
claiming he had to pay his elves. David Cotton entered a Tennessee bank in 2009, dressed in his Santa suit, carrying a big sack and a gun. Once he had filled up his bag with the cash, he escaped. He later robbed another bank on St. Patrick's Day, dressed as a leprechaun, but was killed in a shootout.
Was he like
There
the
you go.
calendar man from Batman? Is that what he wanted to be?
Yeah.
Just,
Hey.
while we're on the subject of that kind of stuff, I thought one of you would have picked up this one. Barry Parks, 35, walked out of Somewhere Antiques, Winchester, carrying a cuckoo clock. When picked up by the police shortly afterwards, he said he'd taken the clock to release the cuckoo. Appearing before Basingstoke magistrates, his defence was he'd taken 3 very strong LSD tablets before the incident.
Oh, very good. I've got an article here. This is from the Daily Telegraph, July 1997. Twit Twoos, seems on the subject of birds. Every night, this is in the Fortean Words chat, by the way. So thank you, whoever uploaded this. Every night for a year, amateur owl breeder Neil Simmons, 41.
Oh yeah, no, I put these in because when I was reading through one earlier, I put loads of screen caps up.
Oh yeah, hooted at a wild tawny owl roosting at the end of his garden, but the owl remained silent. Then Fred Corns, 58, moved in next door, heard an owl hooting and answered back. For 12 months, the neighbours crept into the back gardens in Stoke Integrated Head, Devon,
Fucking hell.
and unwittingly hooted at each other.
Yeah.
Mr. Simmons studiously logged every time one of his calls met with an answer from the wild. The pair would still be active and not for a chance conversation between their wives last July.
How about this one then? Anna Nicole Smith. The late Anna Nicole Smith reportedly hooked up with a ghost in 2004. A ghost would crawl up my leg and have sex. I'm just trying to talk like her and have sex with me at an apartment because they talk like that, don't they? A long time ago in Texas, I used to think it was my boyfriend, and one day I woke up and it wasn't. It was like a spirit, and it miming a ghost flying from her bed sheets. Went up. I was freaked out about it, but I was there. I was like, well, you know what? He's never hurt me and just gave me some amazing sex, so I have no problem.
Her husband was
I've got
moving.
a,
That's kind of what happened to Dan Aykroyd in Ghostbusters.
I love that PG film with Dan Aykroyd's getting a blowjob from a fucking ghost. Do you remember that?
Wesley,
Is that a bit you or Hobbit remember? Like his flies get undone and then that's it.
Yeah.
No one ever mentions it ever again.
Yeah.
Do they?
No.
So Wesley Coop says, "What's the best present to receive? A broken drum. You just can't beat it."
Yeah.
Chaos says, "Father Christmas got a pint of snake bite and a pork pie left for him in my house. I'm a lucky bastard."
Hey, do you want a story from the Shock Horror Award section? This is Ariana Grande, and of all people, she'd say this. In a 2013 interview with Complex, Grande was asked if she'd ever seen an alien. She replied, "Not an alien, but I've had a ghost/demon experience. What a fucking surprise. Was it one dead boyfriend and a load of dead kids like behind her?" We were in Kansas City a few weeks ago and I went to this haunted castle and was so excited. The next night we went to Stull Cemetery, which is known as one of the 7 gates to hell on earth. The Pope won't fly over it. I felt this sick, overwhelming feeling of negativity over the whole car, and we smelled sulphur, which is the sign of a demon, and there was a fly in the car randomly, which is another sign of a demon. I was like, this is scary. Why do they have to say it like all the time, these people? It was like
a stormy night on January 1972.
I was like, this is scary, let's leave. I rolled down the window before we left and said, "We apologise, we didn't mean to interrupt your piece." I then took a picture, and there were 3 super distinct faces in the picture. They're faces of textbook
One of them was Oliver
demons.
Lurch.
You know
The
that
other one was
textbook
Horace
on demons
Walpole.
you've got, Hobbit?
Yeah.
Oliver Lurch and Horace Walpole, and the other one was like the ghost of Cock Lane.
Or her boyfriend. The boyfriend that's dead. What was his name? I can't remember his name.
It was probably Ken Loach.
I deleted it. The next day I tried to send the pit to my manager and it said, "This file can't be sent. It's 666 megabytes. I'm not kidding. I used to have a folder called Demons that had pictures with all the screen caps in it. But then weird things started happening to me, so I deleted it." She then goes on to explain more terrifying things that happened to her. That's how it finishes.
Yeah, Madfwaz was just too big
I
to
was
send.
like, it's like is a synonym for similar. So I was like, not exactly. Are you lying?
It's saying about a simile.
He said,
No,
I was like,
it's-
go on, you sound clear now, Dom.
We're breaking up.
No, shit the bed.
Like is a similar. So
Synonym.
if you're
Similar.
like, you're quite the same.
I was like,
Lying.
I was
basically.
like, it's not the same.
Embellishing.
It's similar to.
You're embellishing.
Yeah. But if anyone's going to have I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked that Ariana Grande has demons around her. I'm just so shocked. I'm like so shocked.
Freeman from FreemanTV.com. He's done a lot about how these celebrities get mind controlled, and there's a lot of traumatic stuff that gets done to them.
Hey, Hobbit, there's some synchronicity going on. Ash787 was saying, I was thinking about Craig David and his Kestrel earlier.
Yeah. You know what? That is actually much better than everything else in Kess. Like, the whole reason I watched this, like, oh, you know, this is funny. I'll go and watch Kess, and it's like, this is a pile of wank. I hate this. Again, I think I've said probably on this show before, but how I would make Kess a good film. And it wouldn't need to do much different. All it needs to do is for that gormless tosser, when he's at the careers, when he's with the careers officer, and he's saying, "You got any hobbies?" And he says, "Yeah, falconry, I've got a kestrel." And then the careers officer goes, "Right, I've got a vacancy for you." Now, this is called an artistic embellishment, right? Because I want a happy ending.
Yeah.
He says, "Right, well, the local lord of the estate, he needs a games master, so you're going to be that." And then he gets a job and he moves out and he lives in a nice lodge
that's
on
his
this
revenge,
estate.
isn't it? Like, that should be his revenge, that he surpasses his family that are trying to drag him down.
really should just be a case like he gets moved at. So literally just because like, oh, you're the fucking weirdo with the falcon. It's like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
guess what? Now I'm the gameskeeper for the Lord of the Manor,
Yeah.
and I raise and breed pheasants that he can go shoot.
Exactly.
I read Stig of the Dump when I was in school.
Oh, I love Stick of the Dump. That was a brilliant book.
I remember the TV
Yeah.
series. I don't
Stig
think
of-
I've
Stig
read the book.
Stig has a dump.
Don't know about that.
He
Was he a
finds a
caveman or
caveman
something?
living
How
in a
come he's a
dump.
caveman living in the
Yeah.
dump? Is that
It's
ever
children's
explained?
fiction. But that's what happened.
It
Yeah.
I
just
like the
is.
story of when
You don't question how a caveman gets in a dump, but he was there.
Can't beat a bit of
I like
Bernard's
the-
Watch, though, can you?
Boy we befriended him.
You ever seen Bernard's Watch, Ian?
Bernard's Watch. I'm unfamiliar with this. What is it?
Oh,
A children's book?
Bernard's got a watch that can stop time.
Oh, right. And
Oh,
the
I
whole
remember
time
that
stopped.
story.
But instead of hijinks ensuing, he's a dick about it, and he just goes around helping people.
Right. It's
He's
like
a
Gilbert Ratchet in
massive virtue-seeking wanker.
and just loved it. Well, we're there though. What's the most popular Christmas wine? Anyone?
Mulled wine.
No, it is. But I don't like Brussels sprouts.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you were there.
So what? Nobody does. So why are we eating them? Because it's Christmas.
Yeah.
No, actually, I quite like them.
I like
I'm
Brussels
sure.
sprouts.
I quite think they're all right.
I think if I was to like
Right.
finally chop
Right.
up a Brussels sprout and put it in the stir fry, I'd eat it. But
Bubble and Squeaky.
the way-
Bubble and Squeaky's where Brussels go.
What did
Oh,
Mrs.
I
Claus
thought-
say to Santa Claus when she looked up to the sky?
Don't
you're
know.
a fucking demon used to sell
No, look-
Coca-Cola to children.
Looks like reindeer.
You're a
Father
demon,
Christmas
you
is
just-
the real one.
Stop selling sugar to kids, you fat bastard.
He's the demon of diabetes. That's what Satan Claus is.
Satan Claus.
And it's a popular profession for pedos as well. Getting their hands on the kids.
Everything about it is demonic. Father Christmas isn't like that.
huh?
It's great. But yeah,
Do you remember
you could get a
Nightmare
part-time
Before
job.
Christmas? How good it used to be before goth chicks ruined it. Their
Yeah.
fucking shitty tattoos.
I don't remember that far back. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was a good
before your
film until the
time.
goth girls got their hands on it.
Well,
then
this
they
is
just started having wank tattoos.
especially the fat
Goffed
goth
it up.
one with the Nightmare. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's the Tim Burton film.
Yeah.
Fat chicks like, oh, I really like the Nightmare Before Christmas. Tee hee, I'm so unique and quirky.
And they're hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then. Real or bullshit? Jesus was born on December the 25th.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Sometime
think
in
everyone
Yeah,
knows
there's
that.
no
Bullshit.
scriptural justification. Yeah, there's no scriptural justification for this particular date.
Was that
Ian
Joseph
Jesus'
Rosenberger
birthday.
who fact checked that?
Mm.
Snopes checked it a bit, so
date
you
actually
can't
comes-
say anything
Yeah.
about
It's,
The date
it's
comes from
Snopes,
Hippolytus, the scholar Hippolytus of Rome, who determined it in the early 3rd century, assuming that the conception of Jesus, that was when
You're listening again.
took place in the spring equinox, which placed it on the 25th of March. He then added 9 months, taking advantage of the winter festivals that were already celebrated at the time. There are a number of errors in this reasoning, the least of which
Hippolyta,
is that
hypocrite,
the
more
human,
like.
yeah,
Knows
You got
when
it
he was
wrong.
born
the human just
because he only became a populist after his death, like a populist like Donald, you know.
yeah.
Donald Trump's
Donald
still
Duck.
alive.
Donald Duck.
The human
Until he
gestation
goes
cycle
up
is
in that
40
Cessna that
Well, a
Hillary-
populist.
Anyway,
Until he
the
goes
human
up in that
gestation
Cessna
cycle
that
is
Hillary,
40 weeks.
Hillary serviced, anyway.
Anyway, all right. Well, Jesus' birthday is in fact mid-January, not December the 25th. So there you go.
I
That
need
one
to
is bullshit.
reread the New Testament because Wesley says a lot known fact is the Bible never mentions the number of wise men that visited Jesus when he was born. I mean, that's a bit like people saying "Beam me up, Scotty." When I've watched all of the original series, Captain Kirk never says "Beam me up, Scotty."
And Darth Vader says, "I am your father." He doesn't say, "Luke, I am your father."
It's that Mandela effect.
Well, it was that Cornish accent. Luke, Luke here, I'm your father.
I'm your father.
Luke here, I'm your father, right?
Look left, look right, look left and right again. That's the Green Cross code, my lover.
Just someone needs to get on the AI and do the fucking Dave Prowse cut of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I would love to watch that.
I can't believe how he was that they didn't put his voice in it. It was like seriously.
It's like, why couldn't they have had like Luke, we can you'll rule the universe together, my son.
But the thing is, I'm like David
Normal exists in Star Wars, doesn't it?
David Prowse was like a he had done loads of Hammer horror films before where he didn't speak, so he was used to acting using his body.
Yeah,
and that's why he was the right actor.
He played Frankenstein, didn't he?
Well, there you go. Well,
yeah.
Actually, it's Frankenstein.
That's wrong, isn't it? He played the monster.
Dr. Frankenstein made the golem called the monster.
Peter Cushing was Frankenstein, and David Prowse was the monster. You get it right.
Oh, was he? Which one was that then?
Fun fact.
Oh, there was loads of them.
I like
It's not
fact.
It's an irritating fact.
No, irritating fact. Then
Yeah.
during the Death Star battle, there's a shot of him, and you can see his eye through the lenses.
Ah, right. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no, not that irritating fact. I thought you meant like, Frankenstein's the monster, not the bloke.
No.
It is the monster, not the bloke.
Yeah, that's.
It's a bit like Hoover.
Actually.
Yeah. But yeah, Dave Prowse.
What about
when do we get the cut of Star Wars we deserve? The Dave Prowse cut. You will bring those rebels to me.
You're a traitor with the Rebel Alliance.
I want her tortured.
The Force is strong in this, son.
Here's my uncle and my son. Here's my uncle and my son, Luke.
Is that why they call it a tractor?
Tractor beam.
Last time you saw me, I was the apprentice, but now I'm the master.
I can't read,
You
I
want to
can
fight
write,
me,
but I
old
can
man?
turn on a tractor beam.
I got a brand new lightsaber, and I'll give you the key. Oh, this is better than talking about ghosts getting bummed off in Cock Lane.
Oh dear, you got any more spooky material in?
Let's have a look. I've got a real old bullshit.
Go on then.
Santa Claus has always been the same as Saint Nick and Kris Kringle.
No, it's no amalgamation, isn't it?
Real or
These
bullshit?
are not real names.
Is it? Well, all three names, as well as Father Christmas and others, are now widely held to reference the same jolly fat man.
It's not Santa Claus, though, is it? It's Santa
This wasn't
Claus.
always the
It should be
case.
Santa Claus, isn't it? It's an American.
It's Saint Nicholas
Santa
or Father
Claus.
Christmas.
Yeah.
What do you
We're
think?
not Dutch
What do you think
scumbags.
Santa Claus is? It's German. I
Yeah.
was about to go
It's
into
Dutch.
Dave
It's
Prowse
the way the Yanks pronounce it.
Yeah.
Saint
The
Nicholas
Dutch are
was a
scum as
fourth.
they are the Americans. Fuck the lot of them. It's
Yeah,
Father
they
Christmas
can't say
and
it
Saint
properly.
Nicholas.
A big hello to all
Saint
our
Nicholas
American
was a
listeners.
4th century Turkish bishop who spent his life giving money to the poor. He died on December the 6th.
I bet his
and
wife
was
was
later
happy.
proclaimed a saint, making December the 6th Saint Nicholas's Day. He didn't have a wife.
I'm not surprised he
just-
gave all
I'm
his
getting
fucking
really-
money away. How's he supposed to get a bird when he ain't got no money?
He wasn't into women. It wasn't his thing. Around the
I get really
15th
fucked
century
It is
Like
a
helping the
in
kiddies
reindeer.
out.
England,
You like helping the kiddies out, is that what you're saying?
the burgeoning Protestant population transformed St. Nicholas into the drunken gift giver, Father Christmas, who in turn was
Drunken?
renamed Kris Kringle. Yes,
Who
he was
says he's
pissed up.
drunken?
Who was
Is
renamed Kris Kringle in the
Rosenberg
US.
writing this article?
American cartoonist Thomas Nast popularized the modern inspiration of Santa Claus, see not Coca-Cola, as a jolly bearded man living in the North Pole.
Yeah,
There
but you
you
could have been
go.
working for Coca-Cola at the time.
This version of Santa is only about a century old. No, Coca-Cola adopted him in the 30s. So yeah.
Oh, the 30s, that
But,
decade.
yeah,
Ooh, the problematic
a
decade.
bit too. What else we got? Bloody blah. There, I got some more jokes with there.
Can I just say,
Basically,
if we've got
spoiler
in our language
alert,
a
it's
term
not
for
real.
something,
Well, Santa's not real.
Spoilers.
What is Santa's primary language? North Polish. He lives in the North Polish. Yeah, that one.
ugh.
That
Yeah,
one
but
there.
there's no nation there,
That's right.
so they don't have a language, so that's bullshit.
Yeah,
No, he speaks
I think
Finnish.
that's the
doesn't he? 'Cause
idea.
he's
That's
he's in
the
Lapland,
idea
isn't
of the joke. It was in Lapland.
Everyone knows he
Lapland?
talks in English, God's own language.
But yeah, so I don't think they have. Do they have Santas in shopping centres anymore? I haven't seen one in recent
Do
years.
they have shopping
Maybe that
centres
fad is
anymore?
gone.
I think shopping
You know-
centres are
you know
big
what,
now, aren't they?
The sound on this thing is really fucked because Ian's gone into the lisping thing again.
He's gone down
Hobbit
Chris
sounds
Eubank.
like Hobbit sounds like he's in a bath, and he sounded like a space marine earlier. And
Brother, you must have the mince pie. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought there was
nice.
gonna
What
be
about
a join to that.
Well, there's going to be more banter, did you?
Yeah.
Anne Boleyn is said to return to her childhood home every Christmas Eve. Hever Castle, which is nestled deep in the British countryside of Kent, was once home to the Boleyn family. Anne Boleyn, the most well-known member of the family, lived the early part of her life there before she married Henry V, or the Eighth, wasn't it? No, Henry VIII. However, within a few short years of her marriage, Anne was targeted by dissidents and gossip within the castle, accusing her of everything from witchcraft to adultery. Eventually, her husband formally
Is
accused
that the scale?
her of these
Witchcraft one
charges,
end and
and she was
adultery the other, and that's it. That's all there's on the scale.
Yeah. Whether she suffered from heartbreak or homesickness, Anne Boleyn's spirit is said to haunt the halls of her childhood home, Hever Castle. However, she allegedly only appears on one day per year, and that is Christmas Eve. Rumours persist that the sombre spectre is seen drifting silently over the picturesque bridge that spans the River Eden in the grounds of the home where she knew so much happiness. Yeah, so there you go.
I recently
Ghosty
told my
tale.
niece that the primitive building videos on YouTube are fake. I don't know if it was too early and I ruined the magic of Indian underground swimming pool. Hobbit, do you know what the Indian underground swimming pool is?
Well, look, there's an Australian bloke. I think his name's John Curtin, and he makes like proper. He's got the channel called Primitive Technology, so the stuff you see there is
Yeah.
real. And then there was a bunch of like third worlders who copied them stuff, and you can even sort of see in their shots with like the caterpillar tracks where they've hired a JCB digger, and people have even taken drone flights showing like the devastation they've caused to the rainforest. Whereas there was a recent one the Primitive Technology bloke did where he's digging out like a floor using a stick. And in the captions, because I didn't realise this, he's actually got captions in his videos explaining what he's doing and why. Whereas before I just watch it and just like, because the video explains itself. But anyway, in the captions it says, no diggers were harmed in the making of this hole.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was an underground swimming pool.
Well, they just do things like where they dig things, and then it's like, oh look, they've out of sticks and stones, they've made a heated swimming pool, and they've diverted
an Indian
water.
swimming pool, underground Indian swimming pool.
Well, they were brown people, so maybe they're Indians. I don't know.
In Jersey, there's an underground German hospital.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Do you still have the Do you still have the Santa Sleighs tracker? Do they still do that on the internet?
You can probably find it somewhere, but it's not real.
Shot down by the Iron Dome in Israel.
What the fuck? Santa's Grotto uses polygraph to test if kids have been naughty or nice. 2 shopping centres in England have rolled out a rather novel approach to their Santa's Grotto attractions this Christmas. 2 shopping centres in England have rolled out rather... And you've just told me that. How does Father Christmas know that a child is worthy of receiving a great gift? So if
is
you go
that something you learn in journalism school, where you've got to repeat like the subtitle in the main article of the body?
Yeah. So if you go to Westfield London or Westfield Stratford City shopping centres, you can be polygraphed. So the questions range from when was the last time you ate a vegetable to have you been keeping your bedroom tidy?
What?
Have you set your sister's hair on fire?
Where is this? Where is this?
Stratford, London. So the 2 Westfield centres in London.
Yeah. Shouldn't we be worried about this?
Depending on the answer, the device will return a result of tinsel truth, ask again, or festive fib.
I hate this.
It's not 100% right, though. It's been proven.
I fucking hate this, though.
Yeah, this is an NPC thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Jeremy Kyle
giant inflatable Santa is gunned down by drive-by shooter in Kentucky. You heard about this one?
Yes, I remember this story.
I think we did it last week, but it's Christmas news, so we'll stick it in this week. So he spent so that it was a $200 inflatable Father Christmas, and so some bastard come by and shot it.
Apparently, the accusations was like some neighbours disgruntled at how lavish a neighbour's Christmas decorations.
Yeah,
were.
they think it's the you know when the Yanks go over the top with their Christmas stuff,
like they do with
like people over here have started doing as well, haven't they?
I hate.
Oh yes,
state people.
I can see one from my house.
if an American farts, we have to smell shit, don't we?
Unfortunately, so.
I got some sad news. A violent squirrel has had to be euthanized after it went on rampage in a small Welsh town over Christmas. Oh, this is from 2021. Violent squirrel. I just said that. A bizarre series of events started last week when a grey squirrel named Little Buddy, which was often seen in and around the small town of Buckley in Wales, went on a violent spree during which it attacked 18 people in the space of 2 days. According to local resident Corinne Reynolds, the squirrel had been quite friendly earlier in the year, and she'd even started giving it food until it inexplicably bit her just before Christmas. In the space of 48 hours, it attacked 18 people. He started attacking people who were just taking their recycling bags to the bin, and they're quite gruesome injuries. She chose to rename the squirrel Stripe after one of the titular creatures in the movie Gremlins. The rampant squirrel was eventually captured by the RSPCA and then put down, because that's what the RSPCA do. If you want to give them money, you're basically giving them money just to put animals down.
You mean there's a job where I could be
not
paid?
one of those 18 people thought to kick its face off.
What's the difference between the RSPCA and the butcher?
I don't know. What's the
It's no longer called Little Buddy.
Well, at least the butchers will dress up the meat for you. In 2021, the animatronic T-Rex at the Natural History Museum got a Christmas sweater. What's that? What does that mean?
They put a Christmas sweater. Have you ever been to the Natural History Museum? They've got a great big T-Rex that roars at you when you go in.
You mean they've got plaster of Paris, which definitely isn't a dragon?
Yeah.
And they're calling it a
and
dinosaur.
its head moves from side to side.
Yeah. No, it's an animatronic one. It's one that looks like a dragon. People are selling unopened presents on eBay. This was 2020. I don't know if they still are.
Stupid.
A youngster called up the police on Christmas Day because he didn't like the snow pants he'd received. I think they mean trousers. But it's Yanks. What? Why don't Yanks know what underpants are?
Merriam-Webster did a number on
Fanny as well. They don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what
I
a
play
fanny
mine
is.
runs.
It's an art to them.
So, according to Ontario Provincial Police Sergeant Kerry Schmidt, I mean, it's lucky the kid didn't do this in current year. Otherwise, those parents would be marched straight off to Maid, wouldn't they? Kerry Schmidt, the unnamed youngster, had phoned up the emergency services because she'd been unhappy about receiving a pair of snow pants from his parents. He had been. Oh, I thought it was a she. And wanted police to do something about it. While the call was clearly not intended maliciously, Sergeant Smith has used the incident to highlight the importance of only calling emergency services if there's a genuine emergency. Yeah, that kid just needs the birch, doesn't he? For being a dickhead.
Needs to be taught a good lesson. Yeah.
Do you want to know what? What kids were wishing for 100 years ago?
A peanut, one walnut, and a
less
lump of coal.
beatings.
What? Dear
Less
Santa,
beatings.
I want a circular saw, 24 linen handkerchiefs, and some bananas. Don't fall down the chimney like you did last year, your loving boy Lewis. Indiana, 1906. Santa, just bring me the same things. Go on then.
So no, I was going to say not being in a workhouse, but that would be UK, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Santa, just bring me the same things as my brother Joe, only more of them and better. I live at the same place as he does, Guy. The kid's
Dom,
name might be Guy.
They don't call them workhouses anymore. They're Amazon fulfillment centres.
Oklahoma, 1901. This is Hobbit. Dear Sandy, please don't come like you did last year and crack my fingers. I want a monkey that runs up a string. Claude Glass, Pennsylvania, 1895. Dear Sandy. Do you like that,
Cracked
dear
his
Sandy?
fingers.
I don't know.
Santa cracked his fingers.
Dear Santa
this lad's mum is bass. Dear Santa, Mama says your reindeers are dead and your wagon is broke. But Sandy, you can come to the depot and somebody will bring you to our house. Myra, South Carolina, 1940. What a cruel bastard her mum is. Oh, sorry, kid. Sorry, kid. Santa's dead. You're getting fuck all this year. Santa's dead and he shot the fucking reindeer. You're getting fuck all.
Fucking dead, you cunt.
Dear Santa, don't let me die of tuberculosis or polio like 18 of my brothers and sisters have.
Or get rickets.
Fucking hell, how about this
Jingles.
one? Dear Santa, I want a milk wagon, a clown, an elephant, and some candy, nuts, and fruit. I cut my finger end off and it hurts so bad.
Fucking hell.
Me and Boots Tally were playing with a lawnmower, but we're a good boys, so come and see us. Louis, Mississippi, 1911. These kids are fucking mad, aren't they?
Oh my God, Jesus.
Dear Santa, just bring me everything you can get your hands on. Be sure not to forget that. So, well, that's all I want, Alice.
It's to the point.
Yeah, just give me everything.
Oh. Yeah.
Wasn't there a game show on like shit that children say and
Yeah.
like
Ronnie,
Ronnie
in
Cool.
the
what's his
80s
name? Ronnie,
with no
one of the two
Ronnie,
Ronnies used to do it.
I thought it was
No, not Ronnie Barker, the other one. Ronnie
Corbett.
Ronnie
yeah.
Corbett used to do it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Dear Santa, you better bring me what I want when I see you or I'll take your head off. Hoping to get my stuff. Your loving kid, Hexy Bunscloss.
How is it a loving kid when you say you're going to dig? I'll fucking cut your head off.
Cut your
I
fucking
think that's a
head
fake
off.
one.
If you get
Including
between
the
me and my
name.
Domino's Pizza Santa Claus, I'll cut your fucking head off.
Because I don't play, yeah.
I think Hexy Bum's Cloth is a fake name.
Hexy Bunscloss. No, it is a Yank, so it's quite
Probably-
possible.
Probably one
His
of the
best friend
craze.
was just a bum wipe.
He bombs.
Do you want a fictional story? Astronauts
Yeah, go
celebrate
for it.
Christmas
Yeah.
aboard the ISS.
Oh,
Did you know Michael Barrymore used to do a Kids Say the Funniest Things bit?
I think he did for a bit.
And
Didn't
that program was awful. Children say the funniest things. Yeah, that's because they don't know much because they're only young. They're going to say, and everyone's laughing at them.
Oh dear.
And most kids probably grew up traumatized.
Hang on a minute. Why did Michael Barrymore's show Strike It Lucky become Strike It Rich? I mean, why? What? Yeah.
Maybe to appeal to an American audience or something.
Yeah, but I mean, Lucky is a bit of a. It's innocuous, so why change it?
Exactly.
It obviously wasn't innocuous enough.
One of them things. It's all about marketing.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, whatever he's done was overridden by that swimming pool business. So
Yeah, maybe it was.
How about this little snitch then? Tylon Pittman. That's honestly his name, Tylon Pittman, and it's spelt capital Ty, capital Lon. So Tylon Pittman had been watching clips of the festive-themed Jim Carrey movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas when he became concerned by the titular character's activities and dialed 911. What a fucking grass, isn't he, eh? His mother didn't believe him until a police officer turned up at the house and knocked on the door. My 5-year-old brother called the police and said that the Grinch is stealing people's Christmas and he don't want them to steal his. So they really came to our house, wrote his brother, Tadera Graves. Tadera is spelled capital T-E, capital D-E-R-A. Tadera Graves. The officer, Lauren DeVell, these are all joke names, aren't they? Who happened to be a fan of the movie, told Tylon she would protect everyone's gifts from the Grinch and send the miserly antagonist to jail if he tried anything. We thought it was funny. We were shocked he actually did it, said Graves. But we had a talk with him about when it's okay to call 911. And that's fucking never, you little grass.
Was this written by Robert Clark?
No, Robert Clark would have gone off about some gay bloke that happened to live in the same fucking building, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it would have nothing to do with
Bummers used to frequent Cock Lane. So anyway, ghost stories. What are those all about? Did you know bummers are deaf? So anyway, ghost stories in Cock Lane.
I don't think you'll ever get over that, will you, Hobbit? The bummer in Cock Lane.
Well, it's not as infuriating as the regrading of all cities in the 1850s, but written by Skeptoid magazine, or the and it's not as funny as Shark Science.
Shark Science is a classic.
I'm glad we redid that.
Yeah, it needed redoing.
Well, Shark Science Revisited was better than Cock Lane Revisited.
Yeah. Well, how can you revisit something if A, you don't visit in the first place, and B, you don't even revisit it?
So anyway, about Henry Walpole, did you know he was a sodomite?
But bummers.
What's this got to do with ghosts? Well, I don't know. Read another 10 pages of this fucking homoerotic fan fiction, and maybe I'll mention something spooky about ectoplasm on the wall.
Here's one for you then, Hobbit. Scientists at the Large Hadron Collider have announced the discovery of a new particle. They're inventing particles now, Hobbit. Actually, a new form of matter called the pentaquark. First predicted to exist in the 1960s, it consists of 4 quarks and an antiquark. The LHC powered up again in April following a 2-year shutdown for repairs and upgrades. BBC News, 14th of July 2015.
Hot new quarks, brilliant.
Yeah, quark's brilliant.
Particle accelerator is brilliant.
Pentaquarks. Pentaquarks are brilliant. You got like 4 quarks and 1 anti-quark. It's brilliant.
Yeah, but how does an anti-quark like coexist with quarks? Isn't that the opposite of a quark? Doesn't it?
Good question. Anyway, did you know ghosts live on Cock Lane?
Also, do you remember that Monty Python sketch? I was hoping you weren't going to ask that particular question.
I was just going to say, let's get Roger Clark to explain what an anti-quark is.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll tell us about, did you know bummers go to CERN?
What?
Instead of backing into a plane, you run straight into it.
I understand things at the molecular level, but at the submolecular level, no, they do not understand. But no.
Hobbit, did you live in Norway in 2005? Because someone has been defecating in the holes of Norway's Stavanger Golf Club since 2005. He leaves behind toilet paper and bicycle tracks in the dew, and has disabled spotlights installed to catch him. He has a couple of favourite holes, said greenskeeper Kenneth Tenfjord. And we know it's a man because the poos are too massive to be from a woman. The stalls are only deposited on weekdays. The club has been denied a permit to install surveillance videos.
That's just sexist. Are they assuming that, it's only men that can do massive shits?
And also, they can do a hole in number 1.
Yeah.
No.
Well, a hole in number 2.
Oh, is it number 2? All right, okay then. A hole in number 2.
How about this one from Typically American Story? When a Georgia man fired at an armadillo in April, the bullet ricocheted off the shell, hit a fence, and went through the back door of his mother-in-law's mobile home, through a recliner she was sitting in and into her back. The armadillo was killed. An unnamed man from Marietta, East Texas, went outside his home around 3 a.m. on 30th of July and took 3 shots at an armadillo. One ricocheted off the shell and hit him in the jaw, which was then wired shut at a nearby hospital. We didn't find the armadillo, said the local sheriff. So, Hobbit, have you been clogging golf holes in Norway?
Ranals.
I don't remember what I was
the sort of thing you do.
2004. I think I was watching Trailer Park Boys back then. That might have been
Were you alone, Hobbit? Is that your alibi? Were you alone? Can anyone verify this story?
Yeah, I do remember 2005, actually. It was, just getting stoned and watching Trailer Park Boys and looking forward to Series 7. And then it all went quiet for a long time.
Jesus, the 2000s.
So no shitting in golf holes.
Yeah, it's bad.
I don't even know how to play golf.
I don't think he's playing golf. I think he's pooping.
I got invited to go putting once, but I just thought, no, I won't bother because I was just like, they said, oh yeah, we'll get there really early so we can play golf before going to the pub. And I'm like, but I don't want to get up really early. I like having a lie-in.
We got any more from anybody?
So, yeah.
Fuck you, Roger Clark. That's all I want to say. Merry Christmas, except to people that call it Santa Claus.
It's Sinterklaas.
It's sad Christmas if you're Dutch.
Is Sinterklaas alright?
No. The Dutch are scum.
And on that
the
note,
winter spirit.
Nighty night. Merry Christmas all.
Yeah, Merry Christmas everyone.
Why is Spotify
You
Music
win the
taking up
holiday.
300 megabytes